I think we are going to start. The mic is going on fine. All right, so this is a little demo today about GitHub and DEIMS, right? I don't know whether you guys are there, Jim and Hat. I am going to assume that you might be there. I don't know, but otherwise, if you are not here, are you here? If you're not here, what you can do is go ahead and watch the broadcast. Okay. All right. So basically, there are a couple of workflows that you can use. I'm going to discuss three things in these themes and GitHub. One is how we organize the themes repos in GitHub. Second, what kind of workflows and basic commands do you use, and how do you use the third? How do you use the command line or the client of GitHub to do the work? Well, it kind of makes sense to start by the last item I discussed, to installing the GitHub client or using the command line. For that, the first thing you want to do is just Google GitHub Windows. If you, I know that you guys use Windows, so I'm gonna download the client for Windows. It's called GitHub Desktop, right? And what can you do is just download the and it's a small executable, about 600 kilobytes. Just run it, install it. It should install no problem, and provide you kind of an interface like you see here for your repo. So that would be LTR or U. That would be over here. Maybe hcaret or LTR or Isengel, and then your repo name. And there will be here a number of repositories. So it's a nice interface to operate in GitHub. Okay. All right, so it's installed in the back. While it is installing, and I think you guys are online, I am going to show you a little bit how I organize the Pi repository, the customization of the themes for each LTR. So at the root of the GitHub, you have LTR. Kind of we put all those repos under LTR, and then usually I say themes dash LTR site. In this case is the Plum Island ecosystem dash custom. And so the repo this particular repo has just the things that go on top of themes to make it work for the Plum Island in this case, right? So it's not a full-fledged repository. In order to use this one, you will have first install the themes code, okay? So in here you have both the features modules, and by this I mean the custom modules specifically developed for Plum Island, and in this case include two: the migration module that will take care of the Theme 6 to Theme 7 migration, and also the GIS EML to DEIMS module that did migrate the GIS datasets that were encoded in EML to the DEIMS framework. Inside, you would see the typical structure of a Drupal module. So you would see, a .info module and a dot module, and then some more code. All right, so that is the two modules that we have at this point for the Plum Island. Under features, there are also a set of modules. So features is a special module that allows us to create modules that store customizations of Drupal. In this case, content types, views, and the like. So in this case, I have about 4 different features, which are kind of, sorry, 5 different features or 5 different modules, and they contain different parts of the customizations of Plum Island. In this case, it contains the views that we installed thus far, the banner that is actually a bit misleading. It's not a banner, but it is the content type that stores the slideshow slides for the slideshow, and also there are customizations to the research side, to the person, and the data set. They are all a bit out of date. They, as you can see, they are 7 or 8 months ago. If I'm gonna try to get a little bit use this as the use case on how you would store code. And anyway, so that's how it works. That's how we structured a little bit in GitHub the code for the customize on top of DEIMS for any given LTR site.
Hey,
as you can see, there is a yeah, I think there's a question over there, but I'm not sure. All right. Maybe, let me see the chat window. Yes.
Could you just walk through, say, updating one of those where you do it from the command line on Lupin?
Yeah, so that was kind of the plan, to show you a bit of the command line on how to update these things, and how to update using the command line. And also later I will just kind of show you how you would do it using the GUI interface of GitHub. So this is called the what you see here. It is called the desktop version of GitHub. So in this case, I just download it and install it, and I'm gonna log in, and hopefully, all right. So I don't remember doing this, so I'm just, okay, so that's fine. Now this says welcome. All right, so this is the command line. What I'm gonna use is a little bit of the command line. Sorry, that was the desktop, the GUI. I'm gonna use the command line to do a little bit of work. The kind of theoretically, the way it goes is like this. You would first clone a repository right here. And so I'm gonna give you the overview, and then I'm gonna show you the details. First, you're gonna clone the repo from LTR. You're gonna work locally in your desktop or on your laptop, and that involves creating branches or adding code, or and then committing that code, and then adding it, adding branches. Sorry, adding remote repositories if you need to, if they were different, and then pushing the changes to the origin. And once they are in the origin, then you will create a pull request. If this is kind of like an overview, but we're gonna do the steps. So for that, you're gonna need. I mean, I'm gonna work on Ubuntu. I have disconnected this window, so give me a second. It's gonna connect again. I guess I can probably work in your repo in Plum Island. If I remember a password.
A lot of passwords.
Well, I don't know whether that's gonna work, but let me just give it a try. Might work. All right, so is there Git in here? That is Git is there, it's installed. I just typed Git to see whether Git was installed, and it is. All right. Then I think you see there is a folder here. I just did ls, and there is a folder called DEIMS DEIMS Plum Island Custom. This is probably a repository because it has the same name as the the repo in GitHub, you see. And so I believe that that is a repo. And what I'm going to do is one of the very useful commands is to git status, and that will tell you where you are at. And it says that I don't have anything locally in this repository here in this server that is pending of work. So that is great. I also am going to update with whatever it is in the master Git copy, which is the one in GitHub. So to do that, I'm going to do git pull, and that will try to bring any changes that might be in GitHub here. Now, in order to do that, you are going to have, let me see. So it's asking me about what branch. In order to do this, you have to first configure Git for you, right? So you might have to create a SSH key and things like this. And there are good instructions in GitHub to do that. Okay, so I think I already done that. I'm gonna see which branch I am. I think I'm in branch 2. See, so I'm gonna change the branch to the master, which is 7x1x, and then I'm gonna do another git pull, and it says that it's up to date. So there is another branch. I don't know what the branch 2 is, but the branch 7x1x, which is the master branch, and is named like this because in Drupal we use that convention for the most recent development branch. It is up to date. So in this repo, both the local and the remote changes are the same. All right, so we are synchronized. So right now we are going to do a little bit of an update. And I think one of the things that we probably can do for updates is we can go into the features, and let's start with the views. There is here are the views that we developed for the Plum Island, right? And in this case, we have the all locations view, and there might be 1 or 2 more views. So there is the GIS data view, you can see there, and there might be a 3rd or the 4th view or not. You know, in this case, I don't see more. So it might be just there are 2 views in this module, okay, in this feature. And what we are going to do is change that and add more views that we know we have. Now, this involves working with features before we can work with GitHub. Okay, so I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna go first.
Is the home one up to date with what's on the live web or on the development
That's
web?
right. So yeah, the repositories are synchronized, but the work that we've done is dated for about 8 months. You see here, it's 7 months ago that when we did the last changes. So we are kind of it is in need of some refreshing, and so it is a great exercise that we are doing, both the learning part or not. So one of the things I can do is I can go to the repo in GitHub, and I can open an issue. I'm going to show you the workflow because I think it's best. Update views. I'm sorry, hi views. Last time we did so once 8 months ago. So this is my issue. This is going to create an issue that is going to have a number. It's going to be number 6. And I'm going to use that to create a new branch in this repo. And to create a new branch with the command line, I just say git branch, and then I issue the name of that branch. And I'm going to call 6 update views. Okay, so this would be your first step. Well, I mean, the second step. The first step would be to create an issue, right? That way, you keep consistent. You kind of have a place where you say, why are you creating this branch? Why are you creating this work? It might seem a little bit of an overkill, but I recommend that you do this. So you first create an issue, then you create a branch that refers to that issue. So in this case, it's git branch 6 update views. And then I'm going to change. So think of it as, if I do git branch, it tells me that I have 3 branches. The first is number 2, which I don't know what it is. Then the one that we just created, and then preceded by a star, we have the 7x, 1x, right? So this is the most recent branch. Now I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to switch to that branch. To that, you use the command git checkout. Git checkout.
Oops, I lost you.
Yeah, I lost him too.
There they go. Where'd you go? You have to open them up again.
He should. Yeah, I don't know if he should be able to join us again or not.
Well, I'll go back to. Oh, I see you. Right.
Mm-hmm.
Do we call? How do I call him up again? Or we just close it and then go back into his session?
I don't know. To see whether send a message.
Yeah.
We lost you. Depends on whether we lost his video or whether we lost him.
Right.
Let's see if he sent anything in Gmail.
I haven't seen anything yet here. Did you send an email to him?
I sent a chat.
Okay, I'll send him an email.
Yeah.
Hopefully, isn't still talking away, thinking we're there.
Mm-hmm.
I'll try calling him now too.
Yeah.
Hey, Nigo, we lost you. Yeah, we lost you about 5 minutes ago. Okay. Okay. He said he saw something. Maybe he's going to try to.
All right, guys.
No, he's
So
back on
let's
again. There we
try
go.
to resume the work.
Okay.
Are you there? All of
Yes.
I see you.
Awesome. Let's see if we can keep doing this. I'm gonna screen share again. I'm not sure what happened. I'm sorry.
Yeah. It's all right. We lost you right when you're doing the list of the branches, and then you're going
okay. So yeah. So it was I created a branch issuing the command git branch and the name of the branch. Okay.
Yeah.
All right, and then after I created the branch, I position this repository in that branch by issuing git checkout. The git checkout command allows me to change to that branch. And if I issue the command git branch, then I know that what I see in the display is the branch that has the star before is the active branch, right? So right now we are at the new branch that is called 6-update-views, and it refers to the issue in GitHub number 6. All right, so right now that I'm in there, and I can start creating and modifying content. Especially, I'm going to modify the high views feature. I went to the website, and specifically, I went to in the menu bar as an admin. I went to structure features. Okay, and once I landed in the structure features, I click on the DEIMS view features. So I'm going to show you quickly that. I'm going to open a new tab. And there is all these features, right? So I'm using the features module to create code, right? So I'm going to focus on this one, the DEIMS views, right? And what I did is I click on recreate, which is going to create code or a module, a features module, containing views and changes to the system views. So once I did that, I landed into this page, which has information about this feature, the DEIMS view feature. All right, so one of the things that it has is it shows me the dependencies. What is in blue is the new dependencies. All right, and I went directly and I expanded the views section, which is what I want to focus on for this. And I clicked a whole lot of views that were not included because the last time we worked on this was about 8 months ago. So on top of the GIS data, I also click the all locations and all these views. Okay. So now that I'm I'm ready, I think I'm going to include the biblio views. The way you include views in this package is by clicking on the check mark, right? So I just check in there, and now I have all the views that the features module recognized that are in your system, and it is going to include them. So the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to click on the download feature. Now that I selected what is going to go into this feature, I'm going to click here, download feature. And I know that this is a bit out of the scope, so we'll probably do a different edits because I'm getting it. This is, strictly speaking, this is features, not GitHub or anything. All right, so I created that, and I'm going to go to the downloads, and I have a new download that is called DEIMS view, and it has the underscore. And I'm going to go and click show in folder. So is this one. I'm going to rename it. I'm going to get rid of that too. All right. I'm going to call, actually, it's complaining that I already have in the system. So I'm going to call it underscore pi. All right, so that's my my module really, and I need to upload this to my server where I'm going to make changes in the code. So I'm going to use the secure shell built-in command, and let me see. So I'm going to grab this, and I'm going to drop it over there. That is supposed to upload it. You see, this is complete. So all I've done is I grab my modifications to the views module. Sorry, to the views feature module, and I put them in here. So now in the home directory, I suppose to have. Right, where is it? I call it DEIMS views PyTar. So it's a tar file. You see that it's called DEIMS view DEIMS underscore views underscore py. So I'm gonna move that tar file over here, and there are many ways to do this. Okay, so this is not the only way. I'm gonna move that tar file over here. Sorry, views. Now I have it here. You see, I'm gonna untar it. I'm gonna unpack it. Now I wonder, because this is something that is a bit ticked off about what I'm seeing. Yeah. All right, that's fine. The naming convention is ticking me off, but so I'm gonna untar this. Our XPF. That's gonna create a folder. So when I see the info file, the existing info file, it says it refers to 2 of the views, and it's in the package PyExtras. But that was never checked. I mean, it was never recreated in the development server, so it's going to create a little bit of a problem in the naming. But worry not, because what we can do is go to the new directory, and this is the new code, and I'm going to edit the DEIMS view info file, and it's called DEIMS views, and this one is PyViews info. It's called PyView. So you see the differences. All right, we can probably work with it. I'm gonna rename it PyViews instead of DEIMS views. PyViews. And I'm gonna move it to PyExtras. I guess the package is PyExtras.
Yeah, I was wondering why you didn't.
Yeah, what happened is I never checked in the module I was probably working in the development. I checked it in GitHub, but then I never used it again, this particular one. So this is not the best example to work with, I just realized. I wonder whether I can do a better example, so I don't distract you.
This is fine. I'd follow what you're doing.
All right, so what I want to do is in the info file, which is it declares basically, there is another thing that is packaged under PyExtras, right? And this one is not. This one is under the DEIMS space. So I'm gonna put it in PyExtras to preserve a little bit. It wouldn't be a big deal, but I'm gonna try to be consistent. All right, so this also, all it does is like any module. What it does is it declares the name of the module, dependencies that it might have, and actually, in this case, views. So it's kind of like an array. It's just not. So I'm going to move these DEIMS info into these PyViews info. And what I'm going to have to do is rename all the files. So I'm going to the DEIMS view features Inc. is going to be moved to the PyViews features Inc. And the okay, what else we have here? The DEIMS.module, it's probably empty, this module. So I'm going to show it to you, or almost empty. You see. All it does is that it's an include, and just now I realize I'm going to have to change this. So let me do that on the modules. This is a comment, so it's not important, but this is important. Okay. and I'm gonna move it, DEIMS view module 1UP, and I'm gonna overwrite the existing module. And finally, this one contains code. All right, there is going to be another problem, the fact that all the hooks have to be named after the module. So this hook has to be called Pi, not DEIMS. So that's going to be a bit of a drag. So in this case, let's see if I can go and replace DEIMS underscore with Pi underscore. Yes, one occurrence, and that's probably all of it. Looks like that is all of it. The rest is just code to create views. That's great. Then I'm gonna move this again to 1UP and to the views defaulting. And then I'm gonna see, just to make sure that we're not doing something stupid, I'm gonna see whether I have the string DEIMS underscore in any of the code here. And I do, so I'm gonna edit this file a little bit. And I'm gonna do, this is not important because, well, I mean, it is important if you wanna do things right, but this is important because that's how Drupal works. Implementing hooks means changing the word hook by the name of the module. All right, I know this is out of the scope of GitHub, but I have to do it. I'm gonna remove the directory, and I'm gonna remove the tar file. I don't want that. Now, so I basically have the same files that I had before I did this work. So if I see git status, and git is keeping tabs on everything, it's telling me that I changed these 3 files, right? Which is wonderful. It doesn't say anything about the Pi views module because I didn't change anything in there. Everything is the same. It's a dummy module, but it is ticked off about these 3. You know, Git is aware that there has been changes to these 3. So what we need to do is make official those changes, and it kind of GitHub is telling you how to do it. I mean, Git is telling you to use git commit. That's A. The A flag means all. So if you want to commit absolutely everything, you issue A. Otherwise, you don't issue A, and then you just go individually through the file name. So, like for example, this one. I recommend also issuing the -m flag for messages and say something. Adds changes to views and reviews. So that's the nature of the work. We are adding changes to the existing views, and we are adding new views. So that's the message that goes along with this commit. And you see, and it did. I guess I never finished configuring this. So I'm gonna quickly, I'm gonna quickly do this command, and okay, here we come. Yes, user. Okay, that's fine. And then I'm gonna do that. That's fine. So there are 3 files changed. There has been 4,000 insertions. So it's like, imagine if we were to do this manually and you added like 4,000 lines of code and deleted 61. That's what Git is telling me. That's what I did. So far we are in a branch. We committed changes to that branch, and I'm going to add this branch to the remote repository. So in the origin repo, in the original repo, which is right here, there is only in the number of branches, there is only one branch, which is the 7x, right? The master branch. But I'm going to add the new branch by issuing a git push command. Okay, git push branch name, and I think it's git push 6 something or the other update views. I believe it was the name of the branch. Wait. Where am I? I'm in the right place. Git status. Git. Oh, okay. Sorry. Apologize. It's git push origin. Is where am I pushing to? And then the name of the branch. And then you need your password, unless you configure GitHub in another way. And what it just done by issuing git push origin, which is the way it's identified this repository. That's the origin, the one in GitHub on the cloud. I say git push to the origin this branch. So if I go to the origin and it said what it did, right? If I go to the origin and I refresh here, it says that 1 minute ago somebody pushed this branch, right? Mm-hmm. And furthermore, it gives me this compare and pull request, and that's actually what I'm going to do. So now we have a new branch that refers to this one issue, and by hitting that, it's going to say that it's going to show me the changes. It's going to show me what it is that I changed, and it tells me that I changed these 3 files. It doesn't show me this because there are 4,000 changes. So I'm going to create a pull request. Okay, and I open a pull request, and let's just say that now the owner, in this case, is the same. The owner, that is me, goes here and says, hey, there is a pull request. Let me see what happened. So it goes here and it says, well, it refers to this issue, and these are the changes that are in the code. So I revised that. The owner of the repo is revising the changes, and GitHub is telling that there is no conflicts with the base branch, so I can perform a merge without disrupting anything. So I'm going to merge the pull request using the GUI and on GitHub, and now I have a new module, sorry, a new feature, or a new old feature right here that has way more code. So instead of 7 months ago, as it was before, it has the work that we did 4 minutes ago. Okay. So now all the changes that we did locally, right now they are posted in GitHub. All right. I know it's a bit rushed, and you can actually cut corners. Like you can come here and edit a file with using this edit this file and do the changes directly in this repo. So it is, as long as you know what you are doing, and it's not that, I mean, in this case, it's your repo, so chances are that it's okay to cut corners. This is fine. You could just come here. Let's just say that I'm going to go here. I'm going to go to the README file, and I'm going to edit the README file, all right? I'm going to say, okay. I'm going to add there are, well, customizations to fields, views, content types, layouts for Pi are captured in the features folder and managed by the Drupal contrib module name features. Okay. So I just added these lines of code, and I'm gonna call this commit update readme add features overview. Overview is too generous, so I'm gonna say and I'm gonna commit directly to the 7.1x branch, but I could create a new branch here also using the interface. Okay. Directly here. So what I did now is I did a new commit, right? Here it is the commit, and it shows on green what I added to the file. And this is the name of the file. And so I can, as you can see, and here is the result of the work. As you can see, I can directly edit on the GitHub interface and the github.com interface, provided that you have rights to do so. Okay, so you don't. I show you a couple of ways that you can add code. The first way was I cloned the repo into my server here, and then I created a new branch. I added work into the new branch. I kind of work on 3 different files, and then once I was done, I committed that work, and then I sent that new branch to GitHub, and then I used the GitHub.com interface to create a pull request for that last branch and merge that pull request.
Yep. So,
okay, so conceptually, what this would be is it's kind of cloning the repo, working locally using git commit the command, then git push to push it back, and then creating a pull request to the repo and merging that pull request. So that's kind of conceptually how it works. So I used a mix of both the command line and I'm gonna show you the command history grep git, and so in this case this is kind of like a short list of commands that I used. Git status, it tells me where I am at, and in this case, if I do git status, it says that nothing to commit. I'm gonna change to the master branch by doing git checkout 1x, and then I'm gonna git pull to bring the changes to the master branch that we did using the interface. So you see now it brought the README file, it brought the through new features to the master branch. Okay, so right now the master branch locally here is up to date. So you see, because we finished the changes that we were doing right here using this interface, and now what we have done by doing a git pull is bringing the changes that we did in GitHub directly interface to the local repo. Okay, so that's pretty much it.
Yeah, one question I have is what would you recommend to keep that particular GitHub in sync with the website?
Okay, so what do I recommend to keep?
Well,
GitHub
right now you're on the Pi home.
Yeah.
And how do you recommend keeping that synced with what's on the web?
Yeah, so it depends on what it is that you have done, right? So in here we do have so here is our code. Sorry, sites default modules. So in here we do have actually we have an extra module, which is the EML to DEIMS. We probably should check in that module as well. So so for example, where do things change? In the modules directory and in the custom features directory, and also in the theme directory, right? The custom theme. So those are 3 places where things are going to change in your server, in your in this case in the home, in the DEIMS dev. So one of the things that changes is that we added the EML to DEIMS, and I see that the EML to DEIMS is not here I see the modules, so there are only 2, but the EML to DIMS is not there. I'm not sure whether we use it. Let me see a little bit. Yeah, we did use it. So maybe we should copy this. Let me copy it to the repository. And before I do that, let me go to the repo. So it's one more time how we do this, right? I am back in the repository, and I'm going to just to make it quicker, I'm not going to create a new branch. Okay, this is not the recommended practice, but that's how I'm going to do it. So right now I am in the master branch. Okay, and I'm going to go to the modules directory, and I'm going to copy all the work that we have for the EML to DIMS. Okay. Sites, default modules, EML to DIMS. I'm going to copy it here. So now this is the, if I do git status, sorry, it tells me that there is a new folder. So I'm going to add it. First, you add it, that folder. When you run git status, now it says, hey, you have all this stuff in here, man. All these new files, right? And those are not in the repository. So you want to commit it? You say, yeah. I'm gonna do as the EML to DEIMS. Okay. So I committed those, and I say git status. There is nothing there. Let me push that, push those changes to the origin, and it's doing that, right? Now, usually I skip the creating the branch command, but I should have done it, all right? So in here, you see already changes are already reflected. It says add the EML to DIMS module. So if I go to the modules, now I see the EML to DIMS module has been checked in with the XMLs, the migration, prime migration, and all the stack that I need, and including the shell, the bash scripts that control. This is a very weird module. Okay, so that is one way. You can just scour what you have and see and look for changes. And it's not an exact science. And so if I go to profile, DEIMS, modules, I know here I have 3 types of modules: the contributed, the custom, and the features. And if I go to custom, I know that I have the get DOI, the sync EML, but those modules are in the core, so I don't need to, because they are in core, I don't need to actually commit to the custom repository, okay? So these are fine. Now, there is another thing that in the themes, I think Hap and I did some work. So in the themes, if I do ls-lt, I know that, you see, in February 8th, the DIMS theme has some changes, right?
Yep.
And I know that basically there is header images and CSS associated with it. So it's probably a good idea to check these 2 directories. Okay, so what I'm basically going to do...
Would it be better to... I know what you did in the Arctic was you created a sub-theme called the Arctic theme, where you put all the custom stuff in.
Yeah, well, you can do that, or you can overwrite the DEIMS theme. So both are valid approaches. You can create a sub-theme of the DEIMS theme.
Yeah, where would it overwrite actually, it?
Maybe, so, okay, so watch out, because what you're probably referring to, let me see.
So if
I go to Appearance, DEIMS theme, here, and I go to the schema, the color schema. So this is a custom schema that contains this customized. So I probably capture these values in an array for the Arctic and call it the Arctic theme for the color scheme. That's probably what I did for the Arctic.
Well, I also put in the banner stuff and
yeah,
the
so
banner
they
work
use the
in there.
banner with noggin and or not.
Yeah.
So what if you don't want to make it complicated and in this case, my hands are tied because the work has been done
Right.
directly.
No, I'm just wondering if you were to read, where would that custom DEIMS theme get?
Yeah, if I had to
pushed
do
to?
over, I would probably do it again this way, overwriting the DEIMS theme, and in the CSS, I will put my customizations here in this file, the DEIMS _ themes CSS, and
I guess maybe you're not understanding when you go to GitHub, would that be just under the pie one then?
Oh, I see what I think now I understand it. So if I go to GitHub and I am in the DEIMS, I will probably add what I was going to do is I will add a themes folder, okay?
Mm-hmm.
And under the themes folder, I will put that thing. But in order to, so for you to know where, sorry, Arctic. Okay, yeah. So let me see what you got here. Yeah. So there is, we didn't. It looks like we didn't do that here, but let me see. How did I do it here? So in here, for example, what I did is I preserved the path, right? So it's profiles, themes, modules, custom, profiles, themes, themes, and then there is custom themes. So the folder in GitHub mimics or resembles the folder right here in the DEIMS distribution. And why to do that? Well, mostly so you don't get so you know exactly where you should go when you deploy it. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
That's kind of the advantage of doing this. I think it's not a bad idea if you create a folder. So I could have created a folder that it was called DEIMS theme only, and then just eliminate these 1, 2, 3, and 4 folders. But I might forget where the stuff is or where to put it. So I just recreated the whole directory structure. Is it a good idea? Frankly, I don't know. I think it will help me. It will help you remember where under your DEIMS stack should the folder go, right? So the same thing. In here, I have a color.inc that probably has like a custom LTR ice. I think you see this array over here. It's called LTR ice, and it has custom colors for all that. So that's why there is this color.inc, because it adds the McMurdo palette, which by the way is probably out of date. But that's kind of the workflow that you might want to use. Like there is not a best practice for it. Probably some people are in the camp that only put this folder, and then you should know where it goes. And I'm in the camp, I'm going to forget where this folder goes or is. So if I put the whole path, then I'm giving myself my future self some help as for where I should drop that folder. So let's do that actually. Okay, let me go into the DEIMS custom, create a directory called, and again, I'm not going to create a new branch, themes. Actually, no. Let me remove themes. I'm going to create a directory called profiles, then themes, and themes, and custom. And now, yes, now I'm going to copy the work that we've done over the last few months that is in the home directory and profiles, themes, custom, theme. I'm gonna copy it to profiles, themes, custom. So that way it kind of, you follow, right? It kind of preserves all the directory. And so if I now do git status, it's gonna say, hey, I got new stuff in there, man. So I'm gonna add profiles and do a status, and it recognizes everything that is there. And so I'm going to commit this work. That's A, that's M. I'm gonna give a message, adds customizations to the DEIMS theme. That's the high customization to DEIMS theme. And then I'm gonna push these changes to the cloud by doing git push. And I can do git push because I am in the master branch. If I was in another branch, I would have to do git push origin and then master branch. If I go now here and go to Pi custom, now I see that I have the profiles, themes, custom, theme with all the templates. So you can safely override everything. I know that I only work with the color and the CSS, but it's not going to hurt to override everything. Okay. It's not an exact science, but it is. This is one way to go. Like I said, you could have just commit this one file, the DEIMS underscore theme CSS, and be done with it. But then you need to know where that file was in the branch, and this way, I think we are helping our forgetful selves, because we don't do this very often, don't we? So that's kind of in a nutshell. How can you work with it? If you guys want to, you can do the same thing with this, and create a local repo. Let me see. Head over to your dashboard, and I think you can clone or clone a repo from here, from LTR. I'm gonna clone the Pi custom, that one. So it's the same thing basically. You're gonna select a local folder, and I'm gonna put it in this case in the where the heck am I gonna put this? I'm gonna put it in my docs, GitHub, and so basically is going to the cloud and getting all the customizations to the Pi custom directory. So you can also use this interface. It's a bit more friendly. If Unix is not your thing and the command line is not your thing, I would recommend using this. And I use it too for some other projects, especially those that are based in Windows. And it's pretty, I find it easy. Sometimes it's a bit confusing, but it basically has the same concepts. It's going to show you the tree. You can open the repository in the Explorer. So here is your timeline for changes. What happened, you see. This is your timeline for the repo. These are the things that we just did, you see. So there is a timeline here with all the commits. And and so you basically can open a file, do changes, and then synchronize them using this. So this will be the sync, will be the equivalent of git push. And the commits are easy because every time you edit a file, let me see, if you come here and you edit a file, click here, and it gives you a window. Let's just say that you edit this, you open it with a program. I'm going to use Notepad or something like that. And I have this. lines, and I save it. All right, I save this with Notepad, and I close this Explorer, and I see that it's detecting that there is one change here, you see? And it says on the README, and I'm gonna say adds things to README. And commit to the master branch, you see, and these have moved a little bit, and now I'm gonna synchronize. And I believe that if I go here, and it's still uploading, as you can see in the progress bar in the top. So if I pull here and I do this, nothing is going to show. But when it's done, I mean, and this is Windows, when it's done, and then it's done. So if I click here, still syncing. I can see here. I mean, the client, okay, now it's done syncing. So if I refresh the cloud, it says adds things to the README, which is the changes that we use with the other thing. So you see, you're not confined to the geeky command line. You can use this nice client to browse changes and do things to it. Okay. You can see branches. You know, you can. It's pretty cool.
Would it make sense to do more, like sort of like the whole directory of them? Because as we update different modules and stuff,
yeah,
would that be useful to have a separate area where we just GitHub it?
It's up to you. So if you do changes for the Pi custom, for the new Pi, so for the actual Pi DEIMS website, you can totally use this repo. If you prefer to open a new one or to fork this one, that's another thing that you can do, fork it using the fork command, and start a new one. It's whatever you feel most comfortable. I believe that just to keep things simple, you can use this one. I'm gonna think that so now you can close the issue. I'm gonna think that that you are the owner. You guys are the owners of this, but I'm not sure. Let me go to LTR and people. And so Jim is owner, you see. So you can do, you have full access to team settings and repos. Okay. And you have an app. I don't see app here. So when he opens an account in GitHub, we'll probably add an. Not probably. Oh yeah, app is here. So I can change his status from member to owner. And that's it. And then we make him. You see now he should be an owner. Let me see if I can. So I thought I did, but all right, owner. Did it do it? Made Garrett an owner. Yeah. So Happy is now an owner, so he can do anything he wants to these repos. Okay. And because the nature of GitHub, they are distributed, so even it's not like this is the master. You can be ahead and in your local copy, and that is fine.
So okay. Inigo, I've got a question for you. Go
ahead, speak up.
Yeah, with some of the changes that you made already, right? Part of GitHub's, I think, utility is that it has a way to go back, like a versioning. So in the event that what you pushed, if we want to get that back, is that possible? Like can go back to the original version?
It is possible to revert to a previous state.
And is that where you want to
Yes.
have branches so that you have a record of what those were?
Yeah, you can do it through the branches. Yeah, that's yeah. So if you go to the commits, you will have all the history of commits. Yeah.
Yeah.
You see, and it's chronological, right? So they begin on the most recent commit and exactly what commit it is, and it goes to now. Here is the thing: how automatic can the process of reverting things is? Well, in our case, it's not very automatic because many people
Sequential things, right?
many people have the production site under GitHub itself. Okay, so instead of having a separate repo in a separate folder, the actual folder on /var/ww is the GitHub repo. Okay, but it's not our case. We don't do that. So reverting, it will be a bit more elaborate in the sense that you will have to kind of look what commits you did and how far you want to go, and then revert those commits. Okay, and you can do it. It's not terribly complicated, but
yeah. Now, with some of those commits that are in there, if they have dependencies on other commits, then you have to basically rebuild it, right?
yeah, that's yes. So
right.
Yes.
Right.
So you will have to see. Let me see. There is a way to distinguish how the code is. Let me see if I see it. Let me see if I see a. How was that done? Okay. It's a way to see how graphically how the thing goes.
Okay.
All right. Let me see. These are my branches. All branches. There was a graphical interface to show you how the commits are merged together. It might help you. I mean, it is not easy. Okay.
Yeah.
Reverting things to an old state. The older the state, the more complicated the work is.
Right.
But it can be done. It's not terribly. I mean, I don't know. Depends on in your patience and everything. I wish I could locate that graph that show us the work oh, here it is. Yeah. So you have here, this is the master branch, and here's one branch that added the typo. And meanwhile, there were changes in the branch, but they were not conflicting with the changes introduced here. So I was able to merge. Then we did this. Okay, and now we are back in 7x1. This is probably called master. This was the master branch, and then I kind of yeah. So both are merged. So there are a few helpers to see where you are and what kind of changes, and all of these are hot linked to the actual code changes. But as always, it probably is not an easy task. And the more familiar you are with the code, of course, the easier it would be to revert changes.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
Oh, here it's your stuff. Yeah. Anyway, so I can show you much more of this, and it was a bit scattered, but I think it's.
Yeah, I think right now you need to digest some and try some things out, and then regroup.
Yeah.
So I think you gave us a good start. I mean, I had played around with it a little bit, and but it's always confusing as to what strategy to use for.
Yeah, and there is not just the one method. There is different ways that people do things in GitHub. I show you a little bit how I do things. I tend to open branches. I don't usually I don't work directly on the master branch. That is not recommended. But if it is like a hot fix or something that is really quick and you are pretty damn sure about what you're doing, then just go ahead. And especially projects that are not super collaborative, and you know, it's okay. Now in the DEIMS master branch, then right there I always open a branch, and I always tend to open an issue to keep things consistent, so we can always keep track of the provenance of all the work that we've done.
Yep.
Okay.
All right. Well, thank you, Inigo.
All right. Well, guys, I'm glad that you are there. We can do this again, focusing on a specific thing. And I know that there is a lot of things that we need to update in the McMurdo, the Plum Island, and the Arctic repo. So it's a way. You're not gonna break anything. You know, even if I don't know, like you commit something that is wrong, just don't worry. We can just revert the work, and it's fine. Experimenting is okay. And if you don't feel like don't want to screw your own repo, just open a new one. And just test things out.
I have one too, but I didn't, and I actually overrid it. It was so old, I just pulled the whole new thing out. I don't have one.
Or you can go to the pasta repo, and edit something in the README file or in the documentation, edit something, and then create a pull request. Then Mark will revise that, and he will, you know, he might. So we have, you know, I have pending. I stopped the screen sharing, but I have pending work that I have a pull request by a German guy who provide us with better icons for the EML and ISO and whatnot. I didn't merge his pull request because I a little bit. I think it breaks a little bit what we got. So you know that it is good. I send pull requests to random repos that I used in the past and say, hey, I found a typo here. And then you know they merge the pull request. It's pretty cool. I don't know. It's a nice tool. I like GitHub. In addition to provide that kind of backup system, like I have all my code saved on the cloud. In addition to that, it gives you the opportunity to work on somebody else's piece of code without breaking anything. Because it basically, you know, you will create a pull request, and the guy can say, "I don't want it. Thank you, but I don't see the value of this pull request, or the code is horrible, or whatever."
Right, and then so long as everybody has access to that,
all right, guys,
then people can get
it. We call it a day.
Yeah, I need to get out of here too.
Yeah, I need to get my kid soon. All right, have a good one, and it's good to see you. This is going to be automatically posted in YouTube for our utter embarrassment.
All right, thank you, Inigo.
Thank you.
All right, guys, good to see you.
Yeah, bye.
Have fun.